Alright, so a couple weeks ago somebody suggested the possibility that I'm discreetly rearranging the order of these tiki masks on the wall behind me in some of my videos. I'm just going to dispel that right now. I have a really big problem with symmetry, so if I look over and these aren't balanced or even in some way, I won't be able to make a video at all and probably will just sit in a corner and cut myself. J Fun Facts. See, the reason I bring it up is because a few people have also asked me why I don't do so many videos of me just talking into the camera, and so I thought that I would address a few of the reasons why that makes me terribly uncomfortable. So first off, I feel like this medium isn't really conducive to this sort of content. See, I've heard in various places that stand-up comedians will frequently rehearse their sets in front of a mirror before going on stage, and this is kind of like that, only if the stand-up comedian then also launched himself via catapult over a city full of busy people and screamed his set into the mirror in the hopes that somebody on the ground stopped whatever else they were doing and looked up to go, "Oh, that's pretty fun. Oh, he hit a building." And then there's the established standard that's set forth by all the more popular people in the field that makes everything I do look sort of insufficient by comparison. Like, imagine for a second YouTube is one big block party, or potluck for you white folks who can afford that instead. The dishes that people bring are going to range in complexity and quality and presentation. Some people may have spent a few hours working out their recipe, others may have slaved for days experimenting with ingredients and determining the best order, so inevitably some are going to stick out more than others. And in the midst of all this, I'd be the guy that shows up with roadkill that he picked up off the street on his way over. So if I stand out at all, it's because I showed up for an hour and my sole contribution is a husk of rabbit meat with a fresh tire tread embedded in it, and I said something like, well, once you pick the gravel out of his eye socket, it's actually not that bad. If this website were a season of Hell's Kitchen, I'd be the chubby 40-year-old who cries during the first service because he was rushing to get the scallops up to the counter and he accidentally dropped the frying pan on his foot. A lot of my analogies are about food today. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon and breakfast and lunch combined consisted of coffee and a Twizzler. Now, I don't really pay attention to pop culture or the news, and I rarely go outside, so there aren't very many topics for me to talk about that other people will find relatable. Largely, my days consist of playing video games, eating, and watching movies, and all three of those alienate at least one important demographic. This whole console war thing has got everybody up in arms, and first of all, that's a stupid name to give it. There's something kind of irredeemable about trying to equate sections of the earth killing each other in real life to a bunch of adolescents and early adults arguing about which controller feels the most comfortable in their hands, in the event that those hands aren't already occupied with trying to pull their own dicks off. And I don't know what the female equivalent for that is, so I'm just not even going to go there. Maybe rip... No, never mind. And as for the other two, I mean, foods tend to be very regional. Like, how can I explain to somebody from the States or Europe or Australia the joys of Tim Hortons coffee or Montreal smoked meat or how disgusting poutine is? Like, okay, imagine a potato, then put it in a bowl of soup, except instead of soup, it's gravy. And you slap a block of cheese on there. Then for the final step, kill yourself. Congratulations, you've now made poutine and also picked the more favorable decision between trying to eat it and dying. And as far as movies go, I hate superheroes, which seems to be the current trend, and most of my cinematic enjoyment is instead derived from content that's scary in nature. Now, a lot of people can't relate to that because they're wuss bags. Bags of concentrated wuss, writhing and folding in on itself and saying things like, "It's too scary," and "I'm not gonna sleep tonight," and if you're making a noise like that, you should probably take a visit to the hospital. And the last reason why video blogging makes me uncomfortable is that I'm not really very good at concluding these things. Case in point,